Hello, welcome to Snap Muppet. I'm James, and today we're going to be talking about the Kazar Zoo deck. So this is a deck that people will tell you you can get to infinity with. Maybe you could, but not so much now. People have advanced beyond the Kazar Zoo deck, so you will find that when you get to Galactic, there's some incredibly powerful cards there. I'm at Omega now, after dicking about with stupid stuff, which I probably shouldn't have done. I probably should have just got 500 gold and then started messing about with decks, but yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. We're talking about the Kazar Zoo deck, so this is for people who either A, relatively new to the game, or B, have been really unlucky with their cards, so maybe nothing's come up in the token shop that's going to help your deck. You've been waiting for 2 months just to see Deadpool, say, I don't know, or you missed it. You went out the night before and thought, oh, I must get up tomorrow before 11 because I want to see what that card is. And you woke up at 10:59 and it was Deadpool, and you went, oh man, I'm going to get it. Oh, it's 11 o'clock, it's changed. So, you know, you could have just been unlucky with your cards, unlucky with what you've opened, or you could be relatively new to the game and thinking, how am I going to level up and get these rewards? So, you all know how it works. You progress through the season and you receive rewards. Basically, the rewards get good at around 250 credits in bad, and it's easy to get to. But Vibranium, 500 credits, that's nice. Omega, yeah, a bit of aesthetics, but Galactic, 500 gold, that's very good. So you want to be trying to get these rewards. In case you don't know, wherever you finish in the season, you'll start the next season 30 below that. So if you finish at 80, you'll start at 50. And then you'll just need to play like 10 games to unlock all the rewards that come before that. So you will still get everything. So that's worth knowing, to be fair. So, you know, you get high. That's why people want to be at infinity, really. So that they basically kick the next season off at Vibranium and just get all the rewards, yeah. I actually think that the seasons are one of the best things of the game, the way they've done it, where you lose X amount of levels and then you work your way back up to the top again. That's really nice. And if they do it, I know they're on about introducing a league table for the Infinity players. It'd be really nice if every season those players were struck off and dropped down and you had to work your way back up, because that gives everyone a fighting chance. And that's one thing I like about this game. I'm going to do a full video on pay to win, and if it is pay to win or not, but that gives everyone a fighting chance. And you know, someone who's at the top isn't just going to keep, if it's pay to win, they're just going to be able to keep plowing money into it and staying at the top. They've still got to fight their way up there. And one thing you'll find from playing in the lower parts of the season is people try out new decks. So it's all well and good having a meta deck, but you might come up against something that is completely retarded that you've not even thought about, and you go, wow, yeah, what the hell is that? You know, and if you just double snapped, then wow. You're still going to make it back up to the top, but you know, it's nice to be beaten by someone with some idiotic crap every now and then. It's just brilliant. I don't mind losing to that stuff. But yeah, so what we're talking about is the Kazar Zoo deck. You've probably heard about it. There's already videos all over the place. I just wanted to talk about it in realistic terms. It's not probably going to get you to infinity these days. Wow, the game hasn't even been out that long. It's good. It will definitely get you to 70 or 80, but the problem with the game is that it's so boring playing the same deck over and over and over again, waiting for your win condition and hoping this will work. Like it's a card game, man. Like, if you've played Magic the Gathering or anything like that, you actually want to enjoy the cards that you've got. You want to try and build a deck around your brand new card, or you want to put something in, or you might even have just something that's aesthetic that you like and you think, oh, it looks so cool, I have to build a deck around this. And that's really what this game should be about. It should be about people enjoying building decks and playing things, playing nice things. But obviously we're all quite competitive, otherwise we wouldn't be playing it. So let's look at the Kazar Zoo deck and be realistic about where it's going to get to. I'd say you can probably get to 80, 70, 80 without too much, without being incredibly knowledgeable about the game. I mean, obviously there are some bits of the game that the more you play it, the more of an advantage it will bring you, like the locations and playing against decks. Like when you see Black Panther come out in an area just on its own, you can almost guarantee that Zola's coming out on the last turn, so you can prepare for that. But until you have played lots of games, the Zoo deck is very, very forgiving. It's easy to just play without making mistakes. You can make mistakes and you're fine. What it revolves around, well, let's take a look at it. So this is the Zoo deck. It's down here anyway, at the bottom there. Thanks again to SnapFan with their amazing website. So it revolves around having a lot of one cost cards, which Kazar boosts. So let's take a look at Kazar. He does is, I think he's on the ongoing, of course he is. So Kazar, your one cost cards have +1 power. Okay, great. So everything that costs 1 has +1 power. Brilliant, that's nice. It's not going to set the world alight, like on the last turn, if you bring Kazar out and all of your one cost cards get 1 power, it's not, you know, a big deal. You know that people have probably already factored that in. It's labelled spam on mine. But the other things that go with it, like the Okoye, where she increases every card in your deck by 1 power. So you'll be drawing all the cards, obviously. If you get her out early, that's fantastic, because then, particularly if you've already got Kazar in your deck and Blue Marvel, you won't be playing your one cost cards at the start. The whole point of this deck is to put them all on at the end. People will see it coming once Kazar's out. They will. It's just, you know, that's the way it is. And if you're playing against someone with a destroy deck, you've got to kind of hope that they've used that Killmonger already, because a really clever player might leave it till the last turn. But then again, you've also got the who's going to reveal first. So if he's revealing or she's revealing their card first, they can play Killmonger and it won't make any difference, because it won't kill all your one cost cards because you're playing second. So that's worth bearing in mind. So the way it works is basically you keep all of your one cost cards back in your hand. You bring out Kazar, you bring out Blue Marvel on turn 5, so that's going to buff those cards when they come out. You can put Sunspot out at the start, that's not a problem. Might get killed by Electra, but you'll find as you go through the levels, less and less people play Electra. She's not that prominent really. At the start, definitely, but definitely the mid-range, she seems to disappear a little bit. You've got Angela. She, what a crap name, Angela. Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, I'm a superhero. What's your name? Angela. Right. Do you work in accounts? Yeah. Terrible. So Angela, every time a card gets played on her location, she gets 2 power. So that's, you can see how that works. So she might be just sat on her own in a location. Then on the last turn, you might bring out, you know, Rocket Raccoon, Electro and Ant-Man, and then all of a sudden, if they've played a card there, you've gone from having nothing to 6 for Angela, and then you'll have 3 for the others, plus the bonus from Ant-Man, +3 power if you've got 4 cards there, plus the +1 from Kazar, plus the +1 from Blue Marvel. All of a sudden that location was like 20 power or something. It's just insane. Blade, fantastic 1-cost card. You do need to be careful when you play that one though, because obviously if you're stupid you might just play, oh look, I've got Blade in my hand, I'll play it, and it just destroys your Kazar and it's like game over. So playing the cards in the right order is very important. So you want to play all your 1-card costs at the end, like I've said, in which case Blade will have no effect on the game whatsoever, apart from the fact that he's putting 3 power down, which is fantastic. It's so important to play things in the right order, can't stress that enough. Cosmo's in there. His on-reveal abilities won't happen at this location. That's very good, because if you're up against like Black Panther or a Wong deck or something like that, it's a really great way to neutralize big plays right at the end, like huge plays. Like if, for example, Hela, she brings out all of the cards that have been destroyed. That's an on-reveal ability. She won't be able to play that where Cosmo is. There's no way you can really predict it, but if you had Cosmo in your hand at the end, and you sort of had an idea where Hela was going to go and you were going to reveal first, you could bring out Cosmo, and you could bring out 3 1-cost cards, which is still great. And then the Hela turns over and they just rage quit, just throw their phone out the window. It's fantastic stuff. So that's basically how you're going to play this. It's so important to keep your 1-cost cards back. Like, no matter what, do not play the 1-cost cards. The whole point of the deck is to bring them out at the end and everything gets buffed. You can hide it as well. You can sort of like, you can play Angela, and that gives nobody any idea what deck you've got at all, because she's in so many decks. You don't need to, people will see that and go, oh, they won't go, oh, it's the Kazar Zoo deck, oh, because Angela's out on turn 2. No, that's not going to happen. Same with the Koyo. Like, you need to get her out as soon as possible, obviously, because the more cards that you draw that have +1 power, the better. I would say if she's not out by 3 or 4, then don't bother playing her. You definitely, she is worth playing on 3, but on 4 you need to be playing Kazar, so that's that out the window. On 5 you need to be playing Blue Marvel, so you can't play her on 5. There are obviously locations that may change the way you play here, but she needs to be going out on turn 2 or 3. Yeah, and I wouldn't bother playing her after that. It's pointless. You've got Shang-Chi in there because there's a few things with Shang-Chi that are great. If you can predict what's coming, or if you don't get Kazar, because you might not, or if you don't get Blue Marvel, Shang-Chi can really swing the game for you. You do probably need Kazar or Blue Marvel out, but if you haven't got one of them, Shang-Chi can sort it out, especially if you've got a the location that adds a 9-power dinosaur to each person's location. What you can do is, on the last turn, you can bring out Ant-Man and any other 1-power. So you've got 4 cards there, you've got the bonus from Ant-Man, and you can bring out Shang-Chi, and what will happen is they'll lose 9 power straight off the bat. You'll get Shang-Chi there, so they've lost 9, you've gained 3, which is a swing of 12, so it's already 12. And if they've played some mega power cards there, they're all going to die. They'd be stupid to, but if it's backed up by Ant-Man and anything, you know, like you can almost guarantee that is a great location for you when that happens. Rocket Raccoon, again, he for one cost, for 2 power, he's already okay, but at the end of the game you can see where they're going to play their cards. Like if they're 1 behind on 2 locations, so you know that they're going to have to play 2 cards to win the game, that you know they're not just going to dump a massive monster like a Hulk in one of them, because they'll still lose 2-1. If you know that they're going to play cards on each, you can just put Rocket Raccoon on one of them, and that should just about do it for you. But again, you can back it up with one of the rubbishy, like a Blade or something. So it's a great deck for progressing through the ranks, and there's some really cool cards in there as well. And the other thing I like about it is when you decide on the end game deck that you're going to play, for example, it might well have some of these cards in it. Like my current deck that I reckon is going to get me to infinity has Sunspot, has Okoye, and it has Shang-Chi in it. I've toyed with putting Cosmo in it, and I've toyed with putting Blue Marvel in it. So there's three or four cards there that you're always going to use, and these cards are so easy to get. Blue Marvel, man, like he's from the recruit season, and you will use this all the way until forever. Well, unless he's nerfed or unless he just becomes redundant because of the meta, but he is a card you will all use all the time. This is a great, just such a good deck to have. If you can't get to at least 60 with this, then you just need to start thinking about when and where you're snapping. Snapping is obviously very important, but as you can imagine with this deck, if you've got, let's say it's turn 3 and you've played Okoye and Angela, that's all you've played, and your opponent snaps, but you've got Kazar in your deck and you've got maybe 3 or 4 level 1 cards, you can snap back. Then on the next turn you bring out Kazar. Nothing's really changed for them. They won't know where they are in the game. And then on the next turn, maybe you've just pulled Blue Marvel, great, play him, or you haven't, doesn't matter. And then on the last turn, you just dump 6 1-power cards on them. They're like, oh shit, just what the hell just happened, man? You know, it's a really good deck for snapping. And the other thing as well is it's a really good deck for retreat because you get to turn 4, if you haven't got Blue Marvel, you haven't got Kazar, and you haven't got Shang-Chi, and you haven't played Okoye, you are not going to win that, almost certainly. Unless they've had a nightmare, like they've played loads of cards on the destroy area and everything's gone, unless they've had a nightmare. So you can back away and just lose a cube. So it's good in so many ways. I have seen a lot of people saying that it's going to get you to infinity, but let's be realistic. I think if you're a really good player, then, and you know everything about the game and you know every deck you're up against, then yeah, sure, maybe infinity. But the whole reason that you're playing this deck in the first place is because you haven't got lots and lots of really high power cards, and you're using what you've picked up to collection level 500 sort of thing. So your knowledge of the game and opponents' decks and things is probably going to be limited, so you probably won't reach infinity with it. But it's still an amazing deck, and there is no hands down this is a deck that will get you to infinity anyway, because everything has counters. So in a nutshell, this is an easy deck to get. You don't need to wait for stuff in the token shop. Don't waste your tokens. You don't need to buy any in-game purchases. You just need to just plod along, get the cards, and you will win games with this. So I hope that what I should do is play some games now and lose, so you can see how bad it actually is, but I don't have time for that. Maybe I'll do that in the next one. But that's basically it. You should definitely be getting that deck. That if you're serious about ranking up, play that one for a little while, see how you get on with it, and in the meantime, you know, have a look at some other cards for a separate deck that you might like to play when you get bored of it. You know, wait for some things in the token shop. So once again, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. I have, and we'll see you again.